Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marc Harding, the author of Painkiller Ghosts. He's going to read us the prologue today.
There was a time before he was shot again, before chastity was framed in his camera lens, before that no-name body fell from the sky, seemingly, when he was Timothy, and he was in love, but in need of help, of direction. But that was years ago. They had a past, there was pillow talk about the future, and they felt healthy. He remembers that feeling. Her name was Maria, and she had brown eyes, but that was years ago. The first thing she told him about herself was, "I love water that tastes like purple French roses." But that was a long time ago, and now, looking back, he can't remember her ever drinking rose-flavored water, but definitely purple red wine. She had brown eyes years ago. This is 5 minutes ago, 2 years ago. She's dead. This is 10 minutes ago, 2 years ago, and she's dying, counting tiles on the floor off by one. She's on the floor, she's sinking into the linoleum, barely feeling the echoes of her heartbeat. She's confused, but she knows she's in her home. A new echo in her ears moans, confusing her more, and she's trying to count the tile floors, and she's off by one, then by two. The floor feels warm, and then doesn't feel at all. She's feeling good. It was just too much this time. She's on the floor that used to be white and then became tan over time, and now is stained brown with just a footprint next to the sink. She's dropped a needle into the floor. She's looking at the dead bulbs, not really seeing them. She died counting the tiles on the brown floor and was off by one, two. She couldn't remember what color eyes he had. She couldn't remember their dog died years ago. He is barefoot in the living room, stumbling, numb. He's stumbling, breaking an ashtray. He has burns on his fingers, sores, jagged toenails. He's got cobweb hair. He's a bearded, skinny skeleton in a shirt 3 pennies poor. He's thinking a little about the dog, the one that's gone. He remembers what color eyes the dog had. He knows what color eyes Maria had. He goes to the front door, stumbles near it, closes his eyes for 1 second, 2, and then he makes sure the bolt is latched. Constantly the bolt is latched, because someone is in the hall, and they're waiting for him, waiting to get in. 100 are waiting. He hears breathing and footsteps. 1,000 are waiting. He hears them. Shadows hiss. He hasn't left in days. Old calendars. He has blue eyes, red and blue. He's on the sofa again now. Dust on the cushions. The television is on. Dust on the screen. He does it and wants to do it again, sweet dizziness. When does the dog get fed? Memories melt. He can still hear that jingle, the jingle of the tags on the collar, that dirty collar, the one that he buried with the dog months and months ago. Death melts. He looks at his watch, although he doesn't care what time it is. It wouldn't matter anyway. He's wearing a dead watch. She gave it to him months and months ago. Time melts. He finally goes into the bathroom in the morning, dust in the shower. He's blinded briefly by the bulbs, and then he sees her on the floor, his life. He doesn't cry. Dehydration. He turns the lights out, 2 bulbs. He goes to the phone. His hands are shaking. He calls the emergency number ingrained since childhood. He tries to talk, but coughs. It's a little blood. She had brown eyes, but that was years ago. His are now red. Then he leaves their apartment, leaving the bolt unlatched for the first time. He leaves and wanders around endlessly and aimlessly, and ends up at a friend's apartment. He sits down. Hours pass by. Days pass by. Weeks pass, and he's weak and sick. Weeks pass by, and he goes to his mother's house. He's a mess. He goes home to kick, to sweat in the bed he used to sleep in when his eyes were blue and clear. Now they're red and blue, with a little white, like a tattered American flag. That was 2 years ago, and now he can't remember if her breath used to smell like rose-flavored water or not, but he likes to pretend that it did.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Harding, the author of Painkiller Ghosts.